Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be covering some of the most common challenges that people face when it comes to carnivore diet. But I guess this also applies to, any form of changes in your lifestyle, diet, fitness journey. So some of these challenges I thought I wanted to bring up is only because I have been coaching a few people recently, and I've seen it over and over again, even on the internet. These are the most common challenges. As we all know, any form of elimination diet, it's where you are kind of setting up your body into a discomfort. There will be challenges along the way, and that's completely normal. I thought with my experience and with my knowledge of coaching other people and in terms of seeing their experiences, that perhaps with me sharing with you some of this information can help you to kind of evaluate your current situation and perhaps find your own strategy and tips to get you back on track. But of course, I'm not certified in any way. I am just really someone that is very passionate about feeling good, using diet to optimize yourself mentally, physically. So this is just me sharing with you my experiences. Any medical condition, I think it's good that you consult with your doctor first. So yeah, let's get into it. So let me list some of these common challenges very quickly, because I'm sure some of it you would resonate with. But of course, I'm not going to cover the tips for all of these challenges in this particular video. I want to keep it short and sweet for you guys. So my aim is to cover 2 to 3 challenges with some of the tips that I know of for this video, and then you can stay tuned to these videos being posted on a weekly basis. So if you have not subscribed to me, I hope that you consider to do so, because I'm sure you'll find my content useful in some way. So I'm going to list some of the most common challenges, but of course I can't cover all this, all the challenges and the tips for it in one video. I would like to keep this video bite-sized, so I'll probably cover 2 to 3 in a video, and I'll split it into probably 3 videos. And then if you're not subscribed to me, I hope you consider to do so, because I would drop these videos on a weekly basis. And if you like to get instant notification, do subscribe to me. So these challenges that I am listing down is based on my own personal experience in terms of what is the most common. You could have a different opinion, and I would like to know what you think about it and what are your personal challenges. If you could list it down below. Of course, if there's any challenges that I did not cover, I would really love to find out more, because this not only bring a lot of awareness into the community, but I think we can all contribute in some way, sharing our own experience and how we overcame that. I think it will help a lot. So number one, one of the most common challenge that people who are into doing carnivore face is they want to drop weight quickly. So if you are trying to do carnivore for short-term basis, meaning to say, it's summertime, it's coming, and I want to look good in 3 weeks time, I want to look ripped in 3 weeks time, that kind of very short timeline. Even 3 months, it's kind of short, if depending on where you're at, and probably your metabolic condition and your age even. So being realistic with where you are right now will kind of dictate what kind of goals you're supposed to be setting. So if you're going to carnivore and your only goal is to drop weight quickly, honestly, you can do that with a lot of other diet as well, but just know that this is not going to be long term. Okay, and the relapse, and for you to recover after you've dropped all the weight, even if the thing is, most of the time it doesn't happen, because you would have some kind of hormonal issue, you wouldn't feel good, and towards the end, when you're finally lean and cut the way you are, I can only speak from my own experience, you will feel that it's not really what you want. Now I'm actually a firm believer of really being in tune and enjoying the whole process, rather than, you know, I need to get this in 3 weeks time and I'm just focusing at the big picture, the end goal. I'm not going to be focusing on the entire journey, and by the time you get there you wouldn't feel as good because you didn't go through the ups and downs of the process properly, right? Uh to really appreciate the result that you get at the end. So to cut this into really a summarized point, because I know some of my videos can get really long. um if one of the most common challenge is people want to do carnivore because they want to drop weight quickly, so that's not going to happen. If that happens, I can guarantee you most of the time you are actually losing muscle. And if you're new to carnivore especially, you see all this video out there, that, oh, let's just do leaner protein, higher protein, you know, less fats, you're gonna drop the weight quicker. I think that it's going to really mess you up, and then in time you're going to spend a lot more effort and time to reverse back to your original or healthier metabolic state. So just remember that anything that's drastic and you don't, you know, slowly nurture yourself into it, the rate of it failing or relapsing is going to be a lot higher. So just to give you one example of a people that I know that going into this just purely for weight loss, right, is a, let's say they were on a crappy diet for that past few months, and then they finally felt shit enough to know that, you know what, I'm going to do this elimination because I'm going to drop all the weight that I gained or all the inflammation that I caused to myself in the past few months. It's like, you know, like that very vicious cycle of I'm going to binge and I'm going to purge it all out. So that kind of mentality. So because they want to get result really fast, because they cannot stand what they have done to themselves at that current state. It's very normal to feel desperate, you know, you want the best solution and you want to get results fast. But just know that you need to set in your mind that you have caused your body to go into this state of inflammation, of, you know, not working properly, and obviously it's crying for help. It's requiring nurturing. It's requiring you to, you know, well, basically you have damaged your body to the sense that it doesn't trust you anymore. So it's going to take a while for your body to trust you back and to kind of like go back to its normal state, you know. And oftentimes they say if you don't heal, don't think about weight loss. So that is number one for me, and I've seen it a lot. So I have seen people who went straight into it. They would just, the night before, they are eating a bunch of crap, and then the next day, you know, they have this mentality which is quite a strong warrior mentality, you know, like, today I'm not gonna eat anything except lean chicken breast, you know. So it's just protein. There's not even energy coming from fats or even some non-toxic plant food or like some healthy carbs, you know. It's just pure protein. Well, you can do that for a while, but you need to see what's your age, what's your current state of health. Some people can't do it. They go into this starvation mode, and then they wreck their hormones, and then they damage their thyroid, and which is going to be very hard to fix later on. So then what I wanted to highlight is, if you go very extreme and quickly into it in a very short amount of time, like for example, I'm just going to eat chicken breast for 1 week and not rely on any energy, because I think that is going to get me to lose weight fast. You might get there. I have seen it, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I have seen people who shrunk themselves doing that. In the past, when I was doing keto, when I went severely low calories, and I also managed to get that. I had no energy source, and obviously when you are, you know, depriving yourself from energy, you are gonna in some way lose weight, right? But I was also losing muscle. I did get very lean, and then after that, you know, I start to sense that, oh my gosh, my period is not here. But for some other people, it's maybe it doesn't mess with their cycle, or maybe I'm speaking about the guys. Maybe they will start having cravings, maybe in the first week or two, they feel completely empty and lean, and they're like, oh my gosh, this carnivore diet is working, I'm just on chicken breast, right? But they don't try to be balanced in a way, thinking that okay, maybe every 7 day or every 3 days I need to refeed back on fats. I need to maybe include some healthy carbs, as to cycle it back in. They go to the extreme in a very short amount of time. They quickly change their body from functioning on crap food to immediately cleaning it out. For sure your body is going to have some kind of reaction to it, and one of the most common one that I see is cravings, right? After the first week, they start to feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I have no energy, I'm starting to have headache, why am I feeling so tired after I eat? And then they start to feel like, ooh, donuts, sounds good. And then they start to see other people, when they go out, they see people enjoying their not very healthy food, and they're like, that sounds pretty appetizing to me. That's your body trying to revenge back on you because it was on starvation mode. So just know that if you're going to carnivore just purely to lose weight very quickly, it's going to be a very big challenge for you. I'm only on my first challenge. I'm already kind of sweating, like I don't even know why I'm getting so hot over this kind of topics. But yeah, it's just I have been working with people that I truly want the best for them, but sometimes they just they have their ways, and they have these challenges that I just want to shake it off their head, like just do it properly. Anyways, I'm gonna get to the second challenge. Is something that I personally have experienced before, and even now after doing 2.5 years of carnivore, if I don't do it properly, I would still fall into this second challenge for sure, and that is lack of energy, fatigue. You just feel like you don't want to do anything. You just can't do anything for the rest of the day after you have your meal, or after you've been doing it for a while. You feel this sense of your leg is just heavy. You can't move around, you cannot be active. That is a sign of fatigue, and they can be many factors. So in order for me to truly find out and how to help you, if I can give a more specific tip, I will require to know more of your lifestyle, what do you eat exactly, and so on. So the tips that I'm going to give to you is just very generic, and it has worked across for most people. So hopefully if you are not very aware of those, this could be of help to you. Let's talk about lack of energy. That whole feeling of being tired. Sometimes I ask myself, are people, confusing themselves with being tired or sadness, or they're actually depressed, or they are low in their mood? Because oftentimes, when you are not feeling very good mentally, you would then think that it is actually you feeling fatigue. Does that make sense? So I believe there is a crossover between really having lethargy or not having energy, and with your mood, feeling depressed, sad, and just down. So for me, if tiredness can be perceived as that, one quick way for you to find out if you are really lacking energy is, I know this is a bit counterintuitive, but it has worked not just for myself, but for some of the people that I work with, is just go for a light walk. We are not even talking about crazy ass going for cardio, pilates, or try to lift weights. Although I would highly recommend you to, when you feel like, I have this that kind of mood, right? Just go and lift weights. You will feel instantly greater after that. But not many people can do that. But if you want to give it a try, please do so and let me know how you feel. But my suggestion would be, for most people, if you start to feel like I have no energy, I cannot move myself, just go for a light walk. Try and search for a place that you think that is going to be good for you to just do some sightseeing. Um, Enjoy the breeze a little bit, go and look at nature. It doesn't have to be I need to do a 10,000 steps kind of walk. You can just go for a stroll, you can stop by someplace, just walk it out. Because when you do this kind of like light walk, probably like for an extended period, of course, not just like 5 minutes, I don't think that really helps. Anything that's 20 minutes and above, just go for a light walk or going for a very light exercise. It will help to promote some of these hormones in your body that is going to not just distract you from feeling tired, but perhaps you are actually just feeling depressed. So as you guys know, exercise promotes serotonin, dopamine, all your feel good hormones. Even endorphin itself, it's endorphin is kind of like taking morphine, where it kind of reduces you from feeling pain. You could be feeling somewhat of a pain that in turn you actually mistake it as lethargy. So getting yourself to move, getting a little bit of sweat, right? You would promote all these hormones that then you will feel like you are actually recharged. I hope that makes sense to you. That has really helped me in a sense. I have days that probably I didn't sleep the same timing that I did before, because sometimes work, social requirements, where I have to be out with friends, and then after that it kind of messes up with my sleep because we stay up too late. Yeah, if I don't get enough sleep, the next day when I wake up, I would just feel very groggy, like lightheaded. And even if I drink my green tea or any caffeine, it doesn't actually, it makes it worse. So I realized that I'm not going to smash myself at the gym. I'm just going to go for a long walk in the park. And finally after that, because I've already like sweat for a little bit, right, it's kind of like a warm-up. Then I will suddenly feel this rush of like good feeling or good energy that I feel like I can go to the gym. So try that out if you haven't. I know it's counterintuitive, but it works for a lot of people. And of course, when it comes to lack of energy, I know that if you don't consume enough salt, or you consume too much salt, it can also make you feel like you have no energy. Okay, I used to be someone that would actually over consume salt sometimes, because I would, if I don't pay attention, like I will salt my steak, right? And then I like the salty flavor. And then I will also be drinking my element electrolyte, that there is sodium in there. And for element electrolyte, I think the sodium is a bit higher than normal electrolyte. And then that is when I'm actually over consuming salt, and then I will feel very thirsty through the rest of the day. And then I will be drinking a lot of water, right? And then, as you know, when you drink a lot of water, it will kind of like mess up with your electrolyte. You would then end up needing more potassium, because when you drink a lot of water, you will still, you will be going to the washroom often, right? To like obviously flush it out. And then you're just kind of like, flushing out all your potassium, and you're just messing up your electrolyte in a sense. And that might cause you to feel like you have no energy. And there are those that are new to carnivore. Probably they also follow along some of the rules out there. Don't try any salt, just do beef only, just do the meat only and see how you feel. Some people, maybe they come from a background of nutrient deficiency. Maybe they have some mineral deficiency that they probably need to salt in the beginning in order to get to a place when they don't salt. So I would recommend doing just a short experiment to know if salt is the issue for you when it comes to feeling this lack of energy. So I would do a minimally you need about 2 weeks in order for your body to show any changes. So I would do 2 weeks of, the salt that you're doing, maybe like higher salt, like depending on where you are right now. Are you salting your food? You would know whether you're salting enough, like are you salting more or are you salting less? So if I were you, I would start out with maybe salting a lot more just to see how I feel, and then in that 2 weeks time to really pay attention to how you feel every time you wake up and how you feel after you have your meal. And after that, you finish the 2 weeks, you would then taper down your salt. So what you can do is actually seeing how many meals you have. So if you are someone that normally has 2 meals a day, then probably you salt your food only, not excessively, normally how you would do it in your first meal, and then your second meal you don't salt it at all. So that's how you kind of know you're controlling the amount that you're salting in a very practical way. So every time you have your second meal, you don't salt, but you salt only your first meal, right? And then do it for 2 weeks and then see how you feel. And then finally, you would just completely not salt even your first meal. But some people, they might feel it instantly. So it depends how you're feeling already by that time that you're doing that. So if you're starting to feel a bit wonky, or like your energy level is not improving, I would slow it down. I'll probably be salt a lot less for my first meal and then see what happens. But you will reach to a point where you completely don't salt at all, and then you see how you feel. There are people in the space, they even have YouTube videos talking about it. They don't do salt at all. Salt actually gives them water retention, bloating, and in turn it kind of makes them feel like they are tired even more. So yeah, every one of us is very different. I have tried somewhat not salting at all. I just feel strange, like I feel like something is missing and I don't feel quite right. So that's why I always have some kind of salt. But for me, I'm not someone that, right now have to ensure that I have this amount of salt every day. I used to do that. So I realized that salt is important for me also because I am very active. So if you are exercising a lot, you're very active, you're always sweating, I think having somewhat of an electrolyte supplement will help. But of course, electrolyte supplement is not something that you want to take long term. It's good to cycle it in and out. Never stay on a supplement for more than 3 months consistently. I mean, that's the advice that is given out there. I have been following the advice, and so far I have been fine. The only electrolyte that I use now, like I say, is Element. Apart from salt, one common thing that people overlook when it comes to carnivore diet is they eat a lot of ground beef because it's convenient. They overcook their steak. They overcook their meat, whatever the meat is, whether it's lamb, chicken. Well, chicken, obviously you cannot do it medium rare unless you want to go to the hospital. But if you eat a lot of like well cooked meat, right, and you are new to carnivore, you're still in that adaptation phase. Even in your first year, I will call it an adaptation phase. Nowadays, people don't really do it properly, so that's why it takes them longer time to adapt. So I think what I'm getting at is, if they eat a lot of well cooked meat, the body is trying to digest, because it was never used to eating so much protein before. And as you know, animal protein needs to be digested, and when your body is doing whatever it takes to digest all the protein that you're ingesting. So now there, it depends whether you are somebody that is doing 3 meals a day, 2 meals, or doing OMAD. That would play a big part on whether or not you feel energetic after your meal. I realized that if I eat a lot of well done meat for my first meal, like 2 hours after that, 1 or 2 hours after that, I will feel this like a little bit brain foggy, like just not as clear as I was in the morning. And that's because I realized that I was eating a lot of like ground beef. So my body was digesting it, and that's where the energy is all at, and that's why I was feeling a little bit more like lacking of energy as compared to earlier part of the day. But I realize now, if I really put it to a point to not overcook my meat and keep it to medium rare, sometimes yeah, a little bit sickening, but I will try to do almost raw kind of meat, like see it on the outside but it's really like it's raw on the inside. You know, my husband can't stand looking at how I'm eating that. Anyways, my plate will be very bloody, but I realized that I feel so light. There is no energy crash, and it's just your body digests, you know, rarer meat a lot more than like really well cooked meat. So if you're not a fan of medium rare steak, which I know a lot of people are not, surprisingly, if it's because of lifestyle convenience, you still need to eat, you know, things that are quite well cooked, like your ground beef, or even maybe you like to take away, like, you know, those beef patties, or you prefer to eat chicken where it has to be well cooked. This kind of very dense, leaner kinds of protein, when it's cooked right, you might need digestive enzyme at the start for your body to help in terms of processing it. So I think digestive enzyme at the beginning, if you are feeling lethargy, it might help you to absorb it or process it better, and then you will feel less tired with this method. So maybe you want to try introducing a digestive enzyme. I don't have a particular one that I'm promoting, but the one that I used before was Source Natural. I will try to include it somewhere above me or below me. So that is what I've used, and I noticed that I feel quite stable, light, no negative effects when I'm taking that digestive enzyme. It has worked quite well so far. So consider a digestive enzyme if you realize that eating protein is making you feel a bit lethargy, especially on a carnivore diet. Anyways, I hope that some of my tips, or me ranting for a little bit, the last part, is going to help you in some way. But if you need more tips, if you have any questions for me, please let me know. You can DM me on Instagram, and even post it in the comment section below. I'll appreciate it. And let me know if you enjoy this content. Stay tuned for the next video, because I will be sharing the other challenges that I mentioned earlier on in this video, and what are the tips to overcome it. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.